Hello boys and girls, welcome to another episode of FoulkesBrau. Today is Saturday the 28th of March 2020. We are currently in day 2 of our lockdown, and being weekend it looks like our news reporters don't update the stats. So I've been listening to the news since 6 this morning. It's currently 9 o'clock and we get all the stats of all the infections all over the world and whatever, except here in South Africa. I did a bit of digging, News 24 website, apparently it's supposed to be live updates. According to them, as of last night, we have 1,172 infected in South Africa. That was last night, Friday 27th. Like I said, today is Saturday the 28th. Curiously enough, yesterday morning we had 2 reported deaths from this. Today we have 1, so somebody either made like Lazarus and came back, or our reporting just doesn't seem to be on board. After a bit of digging with that, they seem to say that the one person that died, the test came back negative, so that might be, again, like I say, the news sites are all very contradicting at the moment, so we don't really know what to believe. Yesterday, a lot of issues in our rural areas, people gathering and doing things like that, and then obviously now the taxi drivers have got on the bandwagon, and really I don't think this is the time to be worrying about profiteering. Like I said before, this thing doesn't care about race or creed. It will kill you. It doesn't care if you're rich or poor. Today I thought we'd have a look at a TV that caught fire. A Telefunken TV, quite an old one. It belongs to a colleague of mine. He came home one evening. He's using it for his security cameras, and I wish I could have seen the look on his face. Basically, the way he described it to me, that there was flames pouring out the thing up the wall, and he unplugged it and it continued to burn. So let's have a look inside and let's see what what went wrong. And this will probably be a multi-part video if I don't have the components in stock to fix it. Obviously, being on shutdown, we can't order any components and things, so let's see if we can find what went wrong, what's buggered in it, what we need to order, and then we'll make a multi-part video of this repair if I don't have the components, or if I have to order some stuff. So I'm going to to save time, I'm going to take the back cover off, and then we'll set up the shop and you can have a view and see what I see. So I've taken the back off, and it's clear to see up here. You can see a lot of burn mark. That's obviously where everything went wrong. Basically our power supply board. Not much to these TVs. Power supply, timing control, your RF tuner, and our backlight power board. So everything's going to lie here. While we have it down, let's let me just take these shielding covers off, and we'll see what we can find. It's just a little bit awkward working around the camera to do this, but hey, you don't mind, I don't mind. Curiously enough, with this COVID rubbish going on, it's been very quiet in my neighborhood. I live in a built-up complex, standalone houses in a gated off area, and I think most of the people that live in my complex have gone away, because I don't hear very many cars or anything driving up and down, and I don't hear people. Well, I'm not complaining. I like peace and quiet, so it's just a very, very strange feeling if you're not used to it. Okay, and next, shielding cover off. Okay, what can we see? Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit for you guys on the power supply. I'll just change the focus a little bit, just turn it a little bit like that. Okay, we can see that transformer there, transistors in there, it looks like, transformer there, nice big capacitor over there, but the damage really looks like it's down in here, some current sense resistors or something that have gone for a loop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the camera to a different tripod so that we can have a closer look at what is going on down here, and a few little optocouplers down here for feedback into the circuit. Really not much to it. If we look at it, power coming in here, curiously enough, it's only alive and neutral. They don't bring the earth to the system as far as I can. No, they do, actually they do. There's the third lead comes out here and goes to our chassis. Power switch, rectifier, filtering, some filtering down here, probably your bulk storage capacitor that's gone for a loop, and yes, it looks like some current sensing resistors and things that have gone for a loop down there, handle switching transistors, and more filtering on the output. So let me take put the camera in a different tripod that we can get really in on this, and we'll have a closer look at what's going on here. Alright, I've just put some extra lighting on and changed the tripod, and clearly we can see where the culprit of the fire was. It's not like a current sense resistor like I thought. It's actually a capacitor. So this capacitor caught fire, probably shorted, and in switch mode power supplies, these things are reacting at a high frequency, and these capacitors that tend to leak over time. Also, if they put in cheaper rubbish capacitors that are not temperature rated for this, yeah, it will go for a loop. So clearly that capacitor's gone. Hopefully there's not any damage to the transformer. It looks like those transistors in there would have gone as well, so they would have shorted. That capacitor's definitely probably gone. We can see over here by this inductor, this capacitor, this side of the case is deformed, so probably that capacitor's gone as well. The chances of these optocouplers and things like that having gone for a loop are not good. Normally they should be okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the power supply board out. We'll take it out and we'll put it on the bench because it's easier to work on than to piss around like this here. What we'll do is we'll check this little transformer. If that transformer is gone, although it's got a code number, we might be able to get a replacement for it, but we can hold thumbs maybe that there's nothing wrong with that transformer. So what we really need to do is find out what that capacitor is. Are these transistors fine, and are the rest of these capacitors and things in here fine. It shouldn't be too difficult to fix. I don't suspect anything on any of the other boards, because as he said, flames came out here, so definitely the problem lies on this power supply board. So let's see what is gone for what is really buggered, and to do that I'm going to take the power supply board out, put it on the bench, much easier for me to work on, and then we can look at it together. Right, so I've taken our power supply out and we've got it on the bench here. There's our capacitor and our little transistors and whatever, but what these guys have done to make it really nasty is, if I turn this board around, you can see here they've put some sort of snot over the pins. So I just cut the power leads off because it goes to an AC plug on the front. So what I'm going to do is clean up the bottom of this board so that we can actually have a look, although I do suspect that those transistors are gone. I'll just come back here. What is interesting, so our mains comes in here, it goes through a fuse. We've got our filtering capacitors and inductors, but these are not safety rated capacitors as far as I can see, and no, it's not cracked. I thought it might have been cracked. So part of the issue with this, any capacitor that goes across live and neutral, or live to earth, neutral to earth, needs to be either an X or Y rated capacitor, depending on which way you're going. It's a safety capacitor. What that means, it's designed that when it fails, it can never short. Unlike what's happened here, this capacitor has failed and it's shorted. When it failed, it shorted, and that's why we had this big burn here and this big blob. There's other little capacitor in here. It also looks like it's gone. So typically what I think this repair is going to involve is the replacement of all these capacitors, specifically that one, maybe a few resistors depending on how badly they got hurt, probably plus these transistors. If they failed, more likely these two have failed. So let's see. Let me clean it up a little bit. Let's see what's what. I will take them out of the circuit and we can see what exactly we're looking at, and I can show you how we test for whether they are faulty or not. Right, so I've taken all the snot off the back of those two transistors. All I've done, I've switched my multimeter to diode check. So if I short the two leads like that, and there's a short, it will beep like that. Your transistor should not be shorted. So if we measure between any two legs, short, short, short. Same with the one next to it, short, short, short. So those transistors are definitely gone. So just to show you which two I'm talking about, it's these two transistors there. So what I'll do is I will desolder them. I've had a little bit of a clean, just a bit of a brush over the side of the transformer, because I thought I saw some copper wire sticking through. It doesn't look like it, so maybe we are very lucky and this transformer is not damaged. But definitely what's going on here is a bit of a problem. So what I'll do is I'll take these two transistors out. We can see what they are, and then we'll try and find out what capacitor that was. So let me take the the transistors out. You've seen me do this before. It's not rocket science. I just used a simple desoldering pump, and I put some flux on the back of it, some solder, and we just suck it out. Okay, so that's let me do that. Right, I've taken our two little transistors out. Actually, N-channel MOSFETs. Those of you playing along at home, they are 2SK3568 N-channel MOSFETs. Low drain source on resistance, typically about 0.4 of an ohm. They can break 500 volts and carry about 12 amp continuous. I definitely don't have anything like that in stock, so I'm going to have to order them when RS Components opens. The capacitor, I don't know what the rating is, but I'm sure with a bit of Google we'll be able to find it. If I bring the board back in, you can see that's where we took our two little transistors out, and the capacitor. This transformer, I'm not sure of. I'll test it with it. If it's stuffed, then we'll have to see. There's a part number on the side if we can get that as well. So it looks like only those two N-channel MOSFETs and that capacitor went on the board. So I can't really go any further with this, not having any spares. So we might as well wrap up the shot, and we'll come back to this in a part 2. Right, that brings us to the end of another video. Unfortunately, I don't have those type of MOSFETs in my parts bin, so yeah, well, we'll order them when this coronavirus is over. Hopefully you can see what happens when these capacitors go bad, when manufacturers don't put the right sort of things in. We'll order the transistors, and we'll order the MOSFETs, and we'll order the capacitor, and when they arrive one day, then we'll finish the repair on the switch mode power supply. I've been listening to the news in the background. Still no figures given. It is now probably 10 o'clock on Saturday morning. Guys, girls, stay at home, stay in isolation, be safe, and as always, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Until next time, cheers.